Ideanomics essentially means the economy of ideas, and I think that it worked really well. Don't get me wrong, when I say really well, I mean that it worked well for investors for some time. If you're someone who's thinking about getting in the company now to buy on a dip, or thinking about dumping your position because it's been plummeting for some time, or simply someone who wants to know more about this weird and interesting company, please keep watching this video until the end. Because we're going to talk about what makes this stock move, and if it's for you. Ideanomics means the economy of great ideas. But in my mind, it's a lot more about the economy of speculations and what is currently popular in the market. Ideanomics had multiple previous lives. It was involved in live streaming services, fintech, and now renewable energy. When we retrace back much of those past ventures, they came about when the mainstream began talking about them. Back in 2014, everybody was talking about live streaming services because of the success of House of Cards on Netflix. Then a few years ago, fintech began to take over in the conversations among market participants and CNBC anchors because more and more people realized that those blockchains can be used to store and move data around. And ever since 2020, I would argue, the EV and renewable stocks have taken over with a frenzy in the market rarely seen thus far. Let's be honest here. For many of us, it was great to have those niches around to absorb the capital and to jack up the prices of those crackpot companies. Some of them are genuine startups, others are shells of scams. Because for a moment, they all rose up. And this, in my opinion, is why I am interested in Ideanomics. I think that by this point, it's not a secret to say that Ideanomics is a holding company that collects little pieces of what is currently fashionable in order to follow the current flow in the market. Given how many times they morphed in the past, I would say that the goal of the company is to sell hope to investors. I mean, fine, if the company can eventually turn a profit in the near future, then I will eat my words. But let's face it, the likelihood that this happening is quite low. It's a bit like the discussion with our parents about mortgages. Some of them will keep telling us that we should worry about how to pay it off, but the reality of things is that most likely we will change house before finishing paying for the mortgage. It's the same thing with Ideanomics. I think that before they can see actual profits coming in from their current collection of fintech, electric bikes, and motorcycle companies sprinkled around in North America and Pacific Asia, Ideanomics will probably be filled with new ideas and continue this process of selling dreams and hopes to investors. But what do I mean by new dreams and hopes? The answer is in the chart that is right in front of you. We know that the company never managed to make real money, to turn a profit of any of its operations. But when we look at its stock price, over time, it has managed to keep its stock price above a certain level for investors. And for approximately like once a year, it can create a little hype in the market to push its price upward before, of course, correcting back lower. We're currently at the end of one of those peaks, which is caused by the EV and renewable energy trend. I don't know what the next wave is going to be, or if it will be there anytime soon. But I would argue that people at Ideanomics will know how to keep selling those dreams when the next one comes around. I mean, my view is a bit cynical here for Ideanomics, but I really don't believe that this company deserves that much more credit than the tag of a speculative stock at best. The company is known for having multiple identities, names, and main operations before becoming the Ideanomics we know now. For those of us who are thinking about buying on a dip, I would say that the dip is not there yet. We're still in the process of the correction, and we should keep an eye out for when the support levels are identified. For those of us who have a lot of money in Ideanomics, I would recommend you to hedge your risk by either dumping some of your shares or at least by selling call options that are slightly out of money to recoup at least some of the losses you've taken over the past few days. Let me be clear. I think that Ideanomics is a great stock to speculate with, but not to invest for the long term. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel.